Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, nerds of all ages, Comic Book Theater proudly presents to you Artist's First Work in Comics. I'd like to thank Collector's Corner, sponsored by CLZ Comics, and the Key Collectors app for helping us out with this video today. Want to remind all of our watchers to please like, share, and comment. Subscribe to the channel. It's a great help to us. Let's dive right in here, guys. We're going to start out with Spy-Man #1. It's the first published artwork of Jim Steranko in comics. Very affordable for the price. And how can you beat something like this from the Silver Age being in 1966 here? The catch is going to be knowing it when you see it, as well as actually finding a copy of it. It's not like we're talking about Amazing Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, Batman, Action Comics, those kind of things. The lesser known titles, so be on the lookout for that. Alright, next on our list is Astonishing X-Tales #25. It's the first appearance of Deathlock, so it is a key comic for sure in that way. But even as much as that is the case, it's also the first professional interior published artwork in comics by George Perez. Being from 1974, it's a Bronze Age book. It can be tough to find it in higher grade, but honestly, at any grade, just make sure you're paying the right price for it. Alright, let's move right along here and get into a more modern book. G.I. Joe G.I. Joe America's Elite #5 is the origin of Zartan. It was published in 2005 and is the first published artwork in comics by Stanley Art Germ Lau. And that's an interior work, which Art Germ, we know, is more of a cover artist at this point in his career. But anytime you can find a book like this and it's still only in the $2 to $3 range, if you are a fan of Art Germ, this is a must-have book. Should be relatively easy to come by at this point too, because it being such a newer book. Alright, next on our list is Eagle #6, and this is first published artwork in the industry by Adam Hughes. It's from 1987. Again, this is going to be one that, not because of the price, but because it is from a lesser known production company or publisher, that's what's going to be the real challenge, is it just finding one, as opposed to it being something that would be more readily available. But absolutely make sure that you know what you're looking for. That's one of the reasons why we always highly recommend a Key Collectors app for things like this. You can get a great close-up view of what the cover looks like. That way, if you're digging through even dollar bins, I would expect to find this in, honestly, guys, because just not everybody knows what they're looking for. Alright, next on the list is Superboy #202, and this is published in 1974, so firmly still in the Bronze Age with this one. Again, make sure you're not overpaying for it, but a great, reasonable key to get for first Mike Grail in comic books. And how can you beat that? That's, if you can find it, and probably should be able to find it in that $10 to $15 range, because it's not a first appearance of a character or anything like that, but still, first appearance in comic books, first time for Mike Grail doing comic book work for us. Got to be one you got to add to the list. Alright, let's start in here with Solson Christmas Special. The Samurai Santa is actually what I normally refer to this one as, because of the cover itself. first published artwork by Jim Lee for some interior inks, and that's in 1986. This has a bit of controversy because of the cover and because of some of the content of the book as well. But again, Jim Lee, first artwork in comics. You can't beat that. And again, even at the higher end of the scale, being under $50 for one of what a lot of us would consider an artist from our formative years in collecting, if you can find one, you absolutely need to pick it up for sure. All right, next on our list is Primer number 5, and this is first published interior artwork by Sam Keith. Now, this also does have some other issues with it as far as being first appearance of Max the Hare, but isn't related to Max that Sam Keith is known for. Just a happy little accident there, as our friend Bob Ross would say. Not something that would be overly expensive. Again, still even on the high end, under $50, you should reasonably be able to catch one of these. The catch is again, gotta find them because it was printed up by Comico. You can find some Comico books out there. This is another one that's a little harder to find because it's not a Marvel or DC book. All right, guys, we're coming up towards the end of the list here. Next on the list is Terminator, The Burning Earth number 1, and this is first published cover by Alex Ross, published in 1990, and easily one of my favorite cover artists of all time. To find one of these out in the wild is not as easy as you would expect, even with it being from 1990 and being at that start of the comics boom, right before the bust where everything was overprinted. Honestly, as much hunting as I do, I've not found one of these in the wild yet. But even if I did have to go to the route of eBay or buying online, $10 is that's not out of the question to pay for something like that, especially if you're a huge Alex Ross fan. So I can't stress enough, most of these on the list are in that $50 and under range, which is ridiculously cheap if you think about it, if you are a fan of these artists. And let's be real here, most of these artists people are fans of. It's no surprise that they're making a list for us. All right, we've got, next on the list is Coyote number 11. Because of the Todd father doing some signing with CGC, this has come more to the forefront, has made some hot lists as of late, and has seen a spike in the industry overall. It wasn't but a month or two ago. You could have picked this up in the $5 to $10 range all day long, no problem, no questions asked. People would have been glad to be selling it to you at that range. But now it has seen some recent gains. I don't expect it to slow down. Honestly, if anything, I expect it to kind of pick up because the Todd father has never been, I don't want to say has never been more popular, but his popularity waned for a little while and has come back, and I expect it to continue to grow as we start to see things like major announcements for the Spawn movie, for it not to be stuck in a holding pattern, which it seems to be. If you can catch one of these in the $20 to $25 range, highly recommend picking it up. I'm not sure I would quite go to the highest high range there, but definitely one to pick up. And being from 1985 and being a Marvel printing, you should be able to find these occasionally out in the wild. And honestly, it wouldn't shock me if you were able to find them in dollar bins, because again, it's not evident on the cover that it's a Todd McFarlane book, like most of them in the future would be. All right. right, last on my list here is House of Mysteries number 179. This is the first interior artwork in the industry for Bernie Wrightson and has a killer Neal Adams cover, published in 1969. So the very beginning of the Bronze Age, very tail endish of the silver. I would consider this pretty firmly Bronze Age myself. And again, great Neal Adams cover, so it's got that selling point for it. Bernie Wrightson for first art in the industry. That's one of the reasons why you're going to have to try and find a good, solid copy of this one, because it has both of those selling points for it. But lastly, you got to figure that it's a DC book. With it being a DC book, they're going to be out there in some cases. Just got to know what cover you're looking for in order to be able to identify it. So, alright guys, that is the end of our video here for today. If you'd like to give us a like, share, and subscribe, it'd be greatly appreciated. I can't tell you how much it means to us here at Comic Book Theater that you're willing to spend your time with us. We want to thank you very much. Y'all be good or be good at it.